Get ready for cargo shots from the Strat Times, presented by HACTL. Here's a weekly roundup of the latest air freight and logistics news.
A surprise partnership is set to transform air cargo between the Middle East and China. Who's behind this game-changing alliance? Stay tuned for the details in today's episode of Cargo Shots, presented by HACTL. This is Snehal Gautam, and here are the top headlines. US to use executive authority to curb de minimis abuse by e-commerce. The US government is taking action to curb abuse of the de minimis exemption, particularly by Chinese e-commerce platforms. The de minimis rule allows shipments valued under $800 to enter the US duty-free and with minimal customs scrutiny. The administration plans to exclude 40% of current US imports from this exemption, affecting goods covered by specific trade tariffs. This move aims to address the surge in de minimis shipments, which have grown from 140 million to over 1 billion annually in the past decade. The proposed changes include increased data requirements and certificates of compliance from importers. However, industry experts like Neil van de Woo from Xeneta believes these measures will not put the e-commerce genie back in the bottle. He also noted that despite potential price increases, the demand for low-cost goods from platforms like Shein and Temu is expected to persist. While the US government cites concerns about illegal and unsafe goods, enforcing stringent checks on all shipments could cause significant delays and impact broader air freight operations. The timeline for implementing these new regulations remains unclear. DSV signs agreement to acquire DB Schenker for 14.3 billion euros. DSV has announced its largest ever acquisition, agreeing to purchase DB Schenker from Deutsche Bahn for 14.3 billion euros. The merger will create a logistics powerhouse with pro forma revenue of 39.3 billion euros and 147,000 employees across 90-plus countries. Germany will become a key market for DSV, with plans to invest 1 billion euros there over 3 to 5 years. The deal includes social undertakings for German employees, maintaining collective agreements and employment conditions for 2 years post-closing. DSV expects to grow its German workforce beyond current combined levels within 5 years. The acquisition, set to close in the second quarter of 2025, will be financed through 4 to 5 billion euros in equity and additional debt. News agencies like Reuters and Bloomberg report that CVC has offered to increase the bid for DB Schenker if given an opportunity and has asked Deutsche Bahn to reconsider the DSV offer before the final sign-off. Cathay Cargo reports 6% growth in August, secures long-term Anchorage terminal deal. Cathay Pacific reported a 6.3% year-on-year increase in cargo tonnage for August 2024, carrying 124,236 tons, driven by e-commerce, pharma, and live animal shipments. E-commerce shipments from the Greater Bay Area drove export tonnage, while Cathay Live Animal and Cathay Pharma Services saw growth from Southeast Asia, North America, and the US. The airline expects robust demand during the upcoming peak season, adding 5 weekly flights to North America. Meanwhile, Cathay Cargo also signed a long-term agreement with Northlink Aviation for cargo terminal capacity at Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport starting October 2025. This deal provides access to customs clearance facilities and advanced infrastructure, including dual hydrant fueling and de-icing fluid recycling. DHL Express invests in global capacity and Portuguese hub expansion. DHL Express is investing over 100 million euros in the fourth quarter of 2024 to support customer growth, anticipating an 8.8% increase in global e-commerce. The company is deploying 8 new Boeing 777 freighters on key intercontinental routes, enhancing capacity and fuel efficiency. Ground network investments include expanded aviation facilities for flexible scheduling and cargo rerouting. In Portugal, DHL has inaugurated a 25 million euro facility at Porto Airport, tripling operational capacity. The new 18,000 square meter terminal can process up to 6,500 pieces per hour for imports and 5,000 for exports, featuring advanced automation systems. It includes 130 loading bays, most prepared for electric vehicles, and incorporates sustainable features like solar panels and efficient lighting. This expansion aims to support double-digit annual volume growth in Portugal. In the world of international air cargo, a new alliance is taking flight to reshape the landscape of trade between the Middle East and China. Etihad Cargo and SF Airlines plan JV to strengthen UAE-China trade. Etihad Cargo and SF Airlines are set to establish a joint venture, marking a significant development in the UAE-China relations. The partnership, formalized on September 18 in Schenker, builds on their existing collaboration to enhance connectivity between China, the UAE, and global markets. The joint venture aims to increase aircraft capacity, improve transit times, and expand SF Express's international services. It will integrate Etihad Cargo's customer service with SF Airlines' capacity and reach, potentially boosting UAE and China trade routes. The strategic alignment represents a comprehensive logistics solution, combining the strengths of both carriers to serve customers worldwide more effectively. The automotive supply chain sector is about to witness a landmark event that promises to reshape the industry landscape. The 8th edition of Auto SCM Summit 2024 is set to take place on December 5th at Sheraton Grand in Pune. Organized by Indian Transport and Logistics News, a Stat Media Group venture, the summit will be presented by Frankfurt Airport and gather key stakeholders from across the automotive supply chain sector. Frankfurt Airport has been the presenting partner of this event since its inception in 2016. So mark your calendars for December 5th, as this year's summit will spotlight India's rise as a global automotive manufacturing and export hub. With the focus on logistics, the event will explore supply chain optimization, electric vehicle logistics, sustainability practices, and many more interesting updates in the automotive supply chain sector. Thank you for joining us on this week's Cargo Shots. Stay ahead by subscribing to our YouTube channel and visiting www.stattimes.com for daily news updates. We'll see you next week with more Cargo Shots.
You've been watching Cargo Shots from the Strat Times, presented by HACTL. See you next week with more updates from the air cargo and logistics industry.